Today I have some tea for you.
Hot girls always have a people-pleasing phase.
But it is just a phase and they always move out of it, so it's time for you to freaking move out of it. Me being your online big sister, I'm here to help you because it can't go on like this. Years ago, I used to think that I was just this very
Loving, empathetic, and kind person who would go the extra mile for the people I love.
But little did I know that I was the biggest people pleaser of all time. You're gonna say, oh, but Tanya, it's okay, it's nice to be those things. But when it goes beyond that and is followed by placing everybody's needs before yours and wanting constant approval for it, that is where the problem lies.
And that is who I was, and that is what I was doing.
At that phase of my life, I had surrounded myself with what then was probably the most toxic and pretentious group of people one could find, and I would spend my days trying to fit in with the gang. I found myself constantly isolating myself from like my family and loved ones because I was chasing these people who I thought were cool and I wanted to be like them, and draining myself for people who would never really like me for who I am. I would literally bend over backwards trying to crack the jokes that they would crack and they would like, and making them happy if they were down, planning birthdays, events, etc., and turning myself into somebody I'm not just to be liked by a group of people who were nobodies to me up until yesterday, while the people who actually loved and cared about me were all pushed away by me, all for a bunch of people who would still talk about me behind my back, drop me in a second for a good time, and hurt me if they got a nice little joke out of it. It's like I always say now, if you're gonna have to be mean to be funny, you're just not funny, I'm sorry. Now when I look back, I always think of how I was the one who attracted those people in my life, because I was always available to give them what they needed. So I constantly had these sorts of people coming into my life because I never really put myself, and I always put other people first. That is the thing with narcissistic people. Like, narcissistic people or like a group of narcissistic people will always want people pleasers in their group because they like put them on this pedestal and worship them day in and day out. And those are the kind of friends, or those are the kind of people they want. Let's not say friends, that's too far-fetched. Those are the kind of people or acquaintances they want to have like hang around them. I gave so much of myself and my energy to that group that I completely lost like all sense of who I was, because I would listen to the music that they would like me to listen to. Like, I'm not saying like they forced me, but I wanted to be somebody I was not. So I will.
Oh yeah, 1975. I love that. I love all their songs.
Like, I don't care really. I want to listen to very mainstream Taylor Swift and wow, okay. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not saying that they forced me to do anything. I'm just saying because that was my entire personality, that I was a people pleaser and I desperately wanted people to like me. I didn't have a personality of my own at all. I had no idea.
I remember being in like the 11th grade or 12th grade, and people would ask me, oh, what's your favorite movie, or what's your favorite band, or what's your... and I didn't know.
I had one New Year resolution where I sat down and I watched a bunch of movies, and I like used to listen to like every genre of music to figure out what I liked, and just not that, like other things as well, because I had no concept,
no idea of who Tanya was.
yeah. So on the whole like path of like keeping these people happy, I forgot who I was, or I never actually figured out who I was. After that, it took me all these years up until now to finally build myself up again. So I know what the cost is of being a people pleaser, and I would never want to do that again. I would never want to go down that road again. This is me. Take it or leave it.
Honestly, I do not have the energy, I do not have the time.
All of this was only possible because number one, I cut those people out of my life, and number two, I realized the fact that if I continued down this road, it would not end up well for me. To be self-aware that you do have this problem is very important, and the fact that you're watching this means that probably you've accepted that. So
Nice.
this year is the first year that I actually followed my New Year resolution. I am simply gonna go where the love is and not where it lacks. It sounds so simple that I'm just gonna be where I am loved and adored and cherished rather than running after people who don't love me and I desperately want them to love me. It sounds simple in theory, but to do it was really difficult because I had to leave behind a lot of people and a lot of situations.
And I am currently unemployed, alone, and living with my parents. So
No complaints because I'm loving it. This year is when I finally decided that it is not my job to make you like me. I like me. I am an amazing person and I'm going to spend my time being unapologetically me. If you want to be a part of my life, you're always welcome. If you don't, that's okay too.
there's the door.
I have friends and family who adore me and shower their love on me, and I'm gonna be there. Okay, remember that in life, if you're gonna be always giving oh so graciously, you need something back in return. As selfish as that might sound, but you cannot always be giving. So if I shower you with love and affection, I expect some in return. If I lend you a helping hand, I expect that you help me sometime in the future as well.
Tanya, why did you expect them to do that?
Why not? You know why I expect things out of people? Because I rise to the expectations of others. If I can be the definition of a great best friend, why shouldn't I expect that from my best friend? If I can be a loving partner, why can't I expect a loving partner for myself? Never let people tell you that you shouldn't expect things from people. Expect out of your bloody mind, because expectations are your yard scale for people. That's how you measure who is worthwhile enough to have in your life and who isn't. But you can't always be like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt.
They probably had a bad day. They'll probably do it when they have a chance. They'll probably do it the next time.
And before you know it, they've walked over you 50 times. You can't do that one time. Oh, second, third, fourth. How many times are you all gonna forgive people for just walking over you and treating you like shit while you're just standing there and just giving and giving and giving? You can't do that, dude. Isn't it draining? Isn't it so draining? I'm thinking about the way I used to be and it feels draining right now. Like, I need water, dude. Okay, now what you can do is you need to start communicating your feelings with absolute clarity. I used to have the hardest time saying no to people. I always ended up with so much on my plate, like random chores and random projects. Why could I not just say no? It always used to be like right here, and I wanted to say no, but it would never come out. The thought of disappointing somebody by saying no was just such a nightmare to me. Once I actually started saying no to things, I realized that I really have my own needs that I need to put first. This is so difficult at first because, like I said, like when I would say no, or if I even thought of saying no to people, I always felt like I was letting people down. But I never realized that if I'm not saying no, I'm letting myself down, which the me now would never stand for. Like, me first, dude.
Me first.
And this whole perception that I had of people that if I said no, they would think poorly of me is so wrong, because when I think about it, I have always respected people who have stood their ground, and in fact, I wanted to be more like them. So if I don't want to do something, if I really don't want to do something, and if I say,
no, I really can't do that because I'm super tired. So count me out of it.
is that so bad? At times, it still comes out with a little difficulty, but I say it. I make sure that I say it. I have to communicate my feelings because nobody in this world can read my mind. As difficult as it is for me, I have to say it. As a people pleaser, it is super difficult to put your needs first, but you have to do it. Now that I am the way that I am, I would never go back to the point in life where I would bottle things up and not want to inconvenience people, but it would bother me for days. I would never go back to that. I just say it now. I say it unfiltered. I say it with a lump in my throat. I say it bawling my eyes out, but I say it because I refuse to keep it inside me. It's very difficult for me to say certain things because I'm sort of
very emotional.
and I start crying. But if something has hurt me or something has made me feel a certain way, there'll be tears falling, but I'll be like,
You made me feel like this. Ignore the crying because that is just who I am. I'm just telling you that I felt this way.
there are so many things that y'all are gonna experience in life that are gonna be extremely difficult. So don't let a conversation, like a simple conversation, be that difficult. We talk in innuendos and sarcasm and passive aggressiveness, and we never say it as it is, unfiltered, just as it is. I think it's high time we do. Have your own opinion, for God's sake. It is so funny to me that we spend so much time trying to be just like someone else, and someone is probably looking at us and trying very hard to be us. The amount of time that we're spending to like the kind of music that somebody else likes and dress the way that somebody else dresses when we're absolutely unique in our own way is insane to me.
Like, there is so much Hannah Montana in my playlist, and I'm not even ashamed of it. If we were a movie, you'd be the right guy.
Anyway, I want to do what I want to do. If I want to wear a dress and baggy jeans underneath it, I am going to do it. If I want to sit and watch trash TV and enjoy it, you better believe that I am going to enjoy it. Don't you think for 1 second that you have to go along with the idea of what somebody else likes. Have the balls. Have the... You don't know why is that a saying? I have a problem with that. Have the friggin' guts to own up and like what you like. If anybody says, oh, that's so boring or that's so lame, okay, it might be for you, but I like it. End of discussion. Basically, just be you. Okay? Don't let the thought of what people are gonna say stop you from doing the things you like.
Now, this point is very important to me. It's super significant to my life because
a lot of y'all might not know this, but I had a YouTube channel before this one. Yeah. 1 second. I don't think it was terrible though. It was actually kind of nice. I used to make vlogs. But I was a nobody and nobody really wanted to see that stuff. Anyway though, at that time I was Little Miss People Pleaser, and it just got to me because my friends had actually like watched that and been like, I just remember this like one point because I actually have like a terrible memory, but things that give me trauma stay in there for some reason.
bro, she thinks that she's like an actual YouTuber, like she does like all those zooms and things.
Something about zooms because I like zoom into my face and shit. So something like that was said, and like they used to like talk about it, and at that point I was not the I don't really give a shit person. I was, oh shit, people are like talking about this. Apparently this is supposed to be embarrassing and I shouldn't be doing it. So I deleted that entire YouTube channel, which now that I think about it, makes me kind of sad because it would have been fun to like look back at it now. What everyone else says is really so irrelevant. That's why I tell people to always move out of situations where they feel like their friends shit about them constantly or aren't really their friends, or like don't really motivate them to do anything, or like the things they do are made fun of. Really, you can just like move yourself out of that situation because there are like a gazillion people in this world, and you really will find other people. You will find your own people and you'll build your own community. So anyway, again, that's a whole different conversation. The point is that if I never got out of that whole cycle of being
I want everybody to like me
person, I would not be here. I would not be talking to you. I would not be making reels. I would not be making videos. It's not that people do not make fun of me still, or like I don't meet people who are like,
oh, so you're like an influencer and you think you're all that.
It's just that I'm very unfazed and unbothered by it. I know that this is what I like, and I know that it's what I enjoy doing, so I do it. And if you think that you can come here and shit on that and think that I'm gonna get scared or I'm gonna let you bully me. That's not gonna happen. I'll just go home and make
another silly, fun little video
and just not think about you, because who are you anyway? There are so many people out there doing the things that you want to do but you're not doing because log kya sochenge, what are people gonna say about you? And those people probably even have not even half the skill set that you possess for it, but you're being held back by your own thoughts. So while you sit there and think about it, those people are out there doing it. Those people are out there living your dream while you sit there and make other people happy while you're miserable yourself. Staying confined in this box of who they think you are and what they think you can do instead of being out there and living your life. You know in your mind and in your heart and in your soul that you are in this vicious cycle because you think about it. I don't have to tell you. I don't have to tell you. You don't have to take a quiz of whether you are a people pleaser. You have to be self-aware and snap out of it. Remove all the people that you've put on pedestals and remove all this burden that you carry with you on your shoulder and climb up the damn pedestal yourself. Put yourself up there. At the end of the day, it's you. It's you alone in your room looking into the mirror. Make sure you like the person you're looking at. What the hell are we doing if we don't like ourselves? And what the hell are we doing if we're sitting here making everybody happy but ourselves? I will see you next time very soon with another little tea session.